back. Here to talk about the three-game set between the Yankees and the Marlins, and surprisingly, a competitive series. Now, I say surprisingly because consistently the Marlins are a pretty rough team. However, they held their own in this one. Just want to give a shout out to Zeus making his debut behind me. There he is, sleeping. He usually has his own chair that he sleeps on, but he wants to be with me today, so. All right, Marlins Yankees game one was a pretty Yankees heavy game. Marlins actually led 1-0. Is he leaving? Nope, just situation. There he goes. Now we got a better shot of him on camera. It's very dark in this room. All right. Yankees with an 8-2 win. Marlins with an early solo shot off of Will Warren, and the Yankees just take over from there. Will Warren pitched very well. Just gave up the 2 solo home runs, and that was it for the Marlins scoring. Judge had an absolute missile, and Ben Rice with one as well. This one was kind of a weird game because let's show the box score. I believe the Yankees walked 11 walks given out by the Marlins pitching staff. And not only that, the stolen bases, if the Yankees played the Marlins every single week, they would have 100 stolen bases apiece. Chisholm with 2, Caballero with 2, and Judge with 1. They were just kind of doing what they wanted in terms of base running. Now let's take a look at game 2. So that one was relatively uneventful. It was kind of a boring game if you're not a Yankees fan, because anyone else would have just chosen another game to watch. But this one was insane. It was actually an insane game. So Ryan Weathers gets the start, and he didn't have that great of a day. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned. Blackburn comes in, throws an inning, 2/3, 3 hits, an unearned run. And the Yankees just kept coming back and kept coming back. So it was 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th. Yankees do a 2-3-1, take the lead. Marlins answer, Yankees answer. Marlins grab one in the 9th to make it a little bit closer. The one in the 9th is a controversial play, to put it lightly. Bednar's in, trying to close it out. And there's a ground ball to Jazz Chisholm, who takes his sweet-ass time, and then the base runner ends up getting on. And, of course, that runner comes around to score. This is the type of stuff that if the Yankees decide, yes, we're going to extend this bozo for 10 years or 8 years or whatever the hell he wants, then this is going to be a contract that they're going to regret Aaron Hicks style. This is a bad idea. If he gets hot at any point, you need to send him packing. And at the very least, you need to trade him at the deadline. I don't care if he's hitting 450 with 60 home runs. Trade him and get something for him. You don't think you could replace his lackadaisical effort at the deadline? Of course you can. Someone will take him, and someone will give you something for him. And if you don't exactly get a second baseman in return, you can use some of those pieces and go get a guy who you can rent for cheaper. You know, you got to move these prospects around, or they just sit there and get stale, Spencer Jones. But the problem is, now maybe the idea, which I know this isn't the Yankees' idea, and it's not Aaron Boone's idea because it would be logical. Anthony Volpe comes back, and they finally put him at second base like I've been wanting for the entire time Anthony Volpe's been up. Let him play second base. He's got a weak arm, but he can get to the ball. And whenever last year he would throw all those errors, it was because he was trying to rush it because he knows he has a weak arm. So wake up. Then across you do McMahon, Caballero, Volpe, and Rice/Goldschmidt. And there you go. Then you're good. You're golden. You don't need Chisholm. You have a surplus of lefty batters anyways. So another righty in there would, maybe the fans will start warming up to Volpe again, but I wouldn't put my money on that. All right, back to this. So Doval has another rough outing. Hedrick comes in, pitches pretty well to get out of the jam. Bednar gives up the one, which is the Chisholm. Yeah, I don't really feel like hustling this time. He had an excuse after, of course, but that's all he has is excuses. I'd like you guys out there to pull up the video of a reporter was asking him, stop me when I name a player that's better than Jazz Chisholm, and they're asking Jazz Chisholm. And he doesn't answer. Nobody, they say. Soto. The only one who he kind of like paused on was Soto, not Judge, the guy who plays with him. Apparently, Jazz Chisholm is the best baseball player on the planet, according to Jazz Chisholm. Sure, bud. So the Yankees win a back and forth battle, 9-7. Another instance of a ton of walks. Back to back, 11 the first game, 10 the second game. You got to figure it out, Marlins, because the Marlins have some good pieces, and they're putting up this fight against the Yankees without Kyle Stowers, who is out for the foreseeable future. So we'll see when they get him back. But nevertheless, Marlins 5-3 currently, and then we head into this final day where Max Fried really didn't have his best stuff, and that's to be expected because there was a 4.5-hour rain delay. They had to get the game in because the Yankees don't play the Marlins again. The only time you could really squeeze it in, if the Marlins are in town to play the Mets, well, then you can kind of work it out that way, but it's a logistical nightmare, so they had to get this game in. They didn't start until after 5, and as a starting pitcher, when you're ready to go at 1, then they got to shut you down for an indeterminate amount of time. Fried was still good. I'm not making excuses for him because it goes both ways for both pitchers, but it's just kind of a nightmare situation. But anyways, Ben Rice with an absolute tank in the bottom of the first to make it 3-1, and Max Fried pitches pretty well, gives up 3 runs, and he gets through 6 2/3 innings. And he was not happy when dumbass Aaron Boone's dumbass took him out. I've talked about this before, but we all know Aaron Boone's an idiot, and we all play by this stupid analytical stuff rather than common sense. Analytics should be kind of like AI, should be used as an enhancer, not as a replacement. Analytics should be used to enhance common sense, gut instinct, all the things that you've grown up doing. Then you use the analytics to help kind of massage your decisions rather than, what's the other option? Analytics determining everything. Why do you take Max Fried out with bases empty, 6 2/3 innings where he's looking pretty good? The reason that you do that is so that you can circumvent the 3-batter rule. Aaron Boone does this all the time, but as a bullpen pitcher, your brain, you're hardwired to come in, pitch your 3 batters, hopefully, pitch your 1 inning, your 1 frame, and go. But instead, Fernando Cruz, he comes in. Does he get the out? Yes. But then he's got to come back out. Fernando Cruz, then he ends up giving up a run, of course. But he's wired, if he would have come in with a clean 7th inning. Sorry, 8th inning at that. It would have been an 8th inning at that point. If you come into a clean one, then you come in, you pitch your 3 batters, you shut down, your day's over. But now you come in, you hype up, pitch your 1, sit on the bench for who knows how long, and then you got to hype up again. It's stupid. This is why analytics is like running a purely analytical system is trash. It's stupid. But that's the world we live in. Everything's done by numbers, but you take zero psyche and what it takes mentally on the player into account. And it's just ridiculous. You need a combination of the two. If I was in charge, I would say maybe 75% gut and game feel, 25% analytics. Even if you did 50-50, that would be okay. But Right now we're at like 90-10 with the Yankees. That's why sometimes I hate on Aaron Boone a lot. I don't even know how he is as a manager. He's just an analytical, he's just the guy who goes out and has to answer questions during press conferences after the analytics blows it. But what the hell do I know? Anyways, the Marlins end up winning. Bird, I almost called him Larry Bird. Bird comes in, gives up 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and does not record an out. So what the Marlins did, rather than the Yankees still running Fried out there in the beginning, the Marlins decided to run two openers out. Pete Fairbanks had a rough day, but they ran him out and then brought Paddock in the third to do the long bit. So Fried still pitched well, but 6 2/3, 3 runs. That's a quality start if they still count that stat. But Yankees take 2 out of 3 in their home opener. They have a day off today. They host the Athletics coming in, and the Marlins host Cincinnati. A quick shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays. After starting off pretty well, have lost 4 straight, including getting swept by the Chicago White Sox. So I really enjoy that. I mean, I'm fair. I'm unbiased. There's no fandom here or anything. Totally unbiased. I don't hate the Blue Jays at all. It's also satisfying to see the Red Sox at 2-7 and looking absolutely miserable. I mean, you know, I'm unbiased though. What, you don't believe me? I'm unbiased. All right, that'll do it for us. So I'll come back and we'll talk about the Yankees. We'll recap the series. And let me know if you like these videos of the 3-game recaps. It's fun to do. So thank you for watching. See you guys later.